Dreamer please.
Hi guys, welcome to the Master Guide series where we will be focusing on hero building. Hit that subscribe button if you want to progress in your game. A complete coverage for each hero will be provided and subtitles will be available, so do turn them on now. Today let's look at the much beloved Kris, who is used in both PvP and PvE, specifically New Mode 1 and Smart Mode. Starting with Kris's weapons, he is usually equipped with double lethal for PvP. Why lethal? Because the higher a hero's lethal rate, the more likely and frequently he or she will use skills. For Kris, you definitely want him to be using his skills a lot because the skills apply the death debuff. When the death debuff stacks up, it can instantly kill the enemy. As such, in hybrid death teams, he is usually made the defensive leader unless Jave is also present. For new players who want to use him in PvP, you can use lethal weapons of any tier for the time being, especially those from unknown area. But it is not all the time that Kris has lethal. Some people also give Kris double speed to let him do more speed attacks and thereby applying death debuff via basic attack. Another possible reason for this could be due to the presence of another high lethal ally which you intend to have skill prioritization. So the speed of Kris is boosted instead for Arena to outspeed other similar teams. In World Boss New Mode 1, he is sometimes given no weapons, lethal weapons, 1 speed or occasionally double speed weapons. Why is this so varied? Because it really depends on whether you deem Kris's normal attack as a waste of time. Even 1 extra speed attack could throw your World Boss scoring momentum off. Based on a couple of top players, they tend to give him 0 or 1 speed weapon only. Not only are his weapons varied, Kris's preferred armor has 2 combinations for 2 different purposes. In PvP, counter armor is given. Remember that Kris has the chance to apply death debuff on basic attack, so giving him counter will let him strike back at the enemy and apply the death debuff on them. He should either be the main or second counter unit in your arena team. However, for PvE, Kris is given double HP. Of course, PvE armor is best for greater survival, but any good HP armor on him will do as well. There are several reasons for this. The first is because there is no point for him to counter since death debuff can't be applied in PvE. Secondly, there are also many other useful countering units such as Ares and Bidam, so you will want to give them highest counter instead. The third reason is so that he can be kept alive on the field as long as possible to take the role of the main healer as he heals the whole team when an enemy dies. PvE units can deal a lot of damage in a short time, so you want his HP to be as high as possible. It is best if he doesn't break into his zombie mode, which can be easily removed with buff reduction skills. For jewels, the color doesn't matter too much, but of course for survival, the more green or blue jewels the better. We will look at mode neutral jewels first, which means those that can be used for any situation. Kris's key skill effect is his team heal, hence the recovery skill jewel is pretty much a preferred jewel on him. You can also let him have the chance to survive on 1 HP, as this will prolong his survivability before zombie mode. Block rate jewel is also a neutral jewel which is simply used to boost his survivability. Giving Kris debuff resist is viable as he is the core of the death team, and if he gets immobilized in any way, then it will really affect your battle. Which brings me to also mention that the debuff resist jewel is very helpful for PvE. In World Boss, it helps to increase Kris's chance of not being petrified, and in Smart Mode, it helps to give him resistance to other statuses he may encounter if you don't have an Amelia. The PvE debuff resist jewel will be even more important in this case as it provides far more resistance. You can even give him increased defense for PvE to increase his survivability, and you can also use the rest of the above mentioned jewels in PvE as well. In PvP, lethal and counter are useful jewels to have for the same reasons explained previously for his weapons and armor. The goal is so that he will have the greatest chance to cast death. Skill cooldown increase along with high lethal is a very good strategy to give Kris so that it gives him more chance to use his death skills as well. You can also give him increased chances of attacking twice on basic attack so that death has an even higher chance to be applied. New players who want to use Kris can simply give him lethal jewels, block, and damage or counter depending on the context he is used in. In PvP, Kris gets a lot of sustenance from having either the Willful Ring or Guardian Ring. Both of these give him the immunity at the start of the match which he lacks. And what is a death casting hero if he doesn't have the death ring on him? Usually the death ring is attached as a substat to the Willful or Guardian Ring for Kris to increase the chance of inflicting death from 30% to 34%. If you don't have the Willful or Guardian Ring, the death ring alone would probably be the best for him. In PvE, the Willful Ring and Guardian Ring will also definitely help him with survivability at the beginning, so you can double up the use for that. Evasion is also a likely alternative if you lack the special accessories. In Nemo 1 specifically, however, he will use the Petrify Resistance Ring if you do not have Petrify Resistance traits or debuff resist jewels on him. So this is to protect him from being immobilized. This is especially important if you don't have Awakened Espada, because Kris can help you to clear the Nemo 1's minions. New players can give him any of the following with priority to lethal or counter accessory. For Kris's traits in PvP, debuff cast rate, counter rate and lethal rate are the 3 most common ones on him. This is mainly really to push him beyond the limits to have the highest likelihood to cast death. You may choose to give him other resistance traits such as stun resist, silence resist, electrify resist, depending on the meta, and it's also dependent on whether you have a debuff immunity hero on your team. In PvE, the traits do not matter as much. If you have extra gold and or tall pass, then Petrify Resist will definitely help you against Nemo 1. Block rate increase is beneficial as well, so he can take a lot less damage, especially when you're using him in Tartarus where the enemies can deal a lot of damage. Kris's exclusive item lets him become immune to all debuffs. I personally found this exclusive item to be one of the more useful ones because it essentially lets your Kris continue to spread death without much worry in zombie mode rather than him being immobilized. It is a recommended exclusive item, but new players don't have to prioritize this over other heroes. Lastly, Kris's soul skills are quite varied, but overall makes him more defense oriented. Skill cooldown increase and increased debuff cast rate are the most useful and necessary for him. Defense increase is great to give him more bulk as well. The rest really depends on the context he is used in and what you have chosen to unlock. With that, I've come to the end of this master guide to craft your Kris. Hopefully this guide has addressed some of the conflicting thoughts you have about this 7 Knight that can be used in different modes. So if you found this video helpful, do give it a like and do subscribe to my channel. More guides are in the planning and will be out as soon as they are completed. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you!